Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. I just come up with a article here off of Robinhood. Was looking at some stocks, and this came up. Russia stokes cyberwar fears, and as you can see, this just came out today. So everything's green, kind of interesting how today's going, but there's always Monday and next week, so we'll see what happens. But the world's been on edge. 44 million Ukrainians are now living under occupation this morning as Russia's deadly attack intensifies. Biden ordered new sanctions targeting Russian banks, tech companies, and members of the President Putin's inner circle, saying the Russian leader chose this war. So, from the research, that's what I've heard. He's chose the war, so I don't know. They always say choose wisely, but maybe he didn't choose wisely, but we'll see. But stocks sold off sharply immediately after the invasion, but rebounded with gains for the day. The tech-heavy NASDAQ climbed 3%. So, cybersecurity stocks surge as Russia's invasion of Ukraine highlights the risks of cyberwar. So the Ukraine banks and government websites were hit with cyber attacks this week ahead of Russia's deadly invasion. Since the U.S. and its allies imposed sanctions on Moscow, Western officials have been on high alert for Russian cyber retaliation. Shares of cybersecurity companies have spiked. So network security stocks, Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, I have heard of CrowdStrike quite a few times. Fortinet and Mandiant all surged at least 10% yesterday, and cybersecurity ETFs also jumped. So if you have any of these, go ahead and leave those in the comments. That'd be interesting to know. It's scary out there. Even before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the cybersecurity industry has been seeing a flood of investment. VC-backed security companies have raised $2.6 billion so far this month, about 4 times more than the same period last year. Cybercrime is a growing biz. The number of cyber attacks increased 70% last year, and data breaches cost United States companies a record $4.2 million on average. Global cost of hacks tops $6 trillion last year, and a forecast to hit $10.5 trillion by 2025. Russia's already a big player. Cybercrime analysts say nearly 75% of money stolen via ransomware attacks last year went to Russia-linked cybercriminals. In recent years, logistics giants FedEx and Maersk have also been targeted by Russian hackers. The takeaway from all this, new area of state-sponsored cybercrime is dawning. Russia is responsible for an estimated 60% of the state-sponsored cybercrime detected by Microsoft last year. And now the FBI is warning U.S. banks and businesses to watch out for Russian ransomware attacks. Biden has asked American tech giants like Google and Microsoft to help beef up cybersecurity, but has struggled to boost the national cybersecurity budget since the Build Back Better. I can't even read that without laughing. Build Back Better bill stalled in Congress. It's, yeah. Enough about the Build Back Better, so I just want it back to the way it was. That would be building it back better, so. Number 2, America's boardrooms are getting more diverse, but inequity in hiring pipelines and promotions makes rising through the ranks difficult. Seat at the table. Despite a national reckoning on race and equity, corporate America has been slow to diversify. There are still only 4 black CEOs in the Fortune 500, and more than 90% of the 50 most valuable public companies in the United States don't have any black C-suite execs, including Walmart, Costco, and T-Mobile. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Last year, over 400 S&P companies used the words diversity equity or inclusion in their annual filings, but creating racial equality in the upper ranks of a workforce is about more than quota filling and good PR. Board members make some of the most critical decisions in any big company, and they're traditionally responsible for picking their successors, who have been primarily white men. Bottom up, last year black workers made up 12% of entry-level employees in the private sector, and only 7% of managers. Singled out corporate hiring bias and concerns about being the only employee of color in all-white leadership team can make it hard for black candidates to gain the experience needed to advance. Here it kind of goes over mental principle and money, so feel free to continue reading that. What else we're snacking? Block another mega merger gets mega squashed. The Biden administration is suing to block United Health's $13 billion acquisition of a health tech company, Change Healthcare, citing an unfair data advantage. TAP, Bud Parent, AB, and Bev got a sales boost last quarter as drinkers returned to bars and splurged on pricier beers. Rival Molson Coors saw its first sales growth in a decade. All drinking up. I thought what I read has went up since the pandemic, and people are just stressed, and I guess nothing better to do, so may as well have a drink. So, and it is Friday, so there you go. Charged Nikola shares jumped up 18% after the electric truck maker said it planned to deliver hundreds of its battery-powered big rigs this year. I think I've talked about Nikola once or twice. I've talked about EV numerous times here on the channel. Tesla, NIO, Xpeng, Liato, the list goes on. GM, Ford. I've talked about a lot of them. So, but just thought this was an interesting article and something different here on the channel. So just something to think about. But again, the network security stocks are Palo Alto Networks, CrowdStrike, Fortinet, and Mendiant. So if you have any of these, go ahead and list those in the comments. That would be interesting to know. And if they are going up that much, might be something worth looking into. So there you can see it started up, took a dip, and went up a little bit. So just thought so. But that is all that I have on this one. So like I said, if you have any of these, go ahead and list it in the comments, along with your cost basis, any other information you'd like to share in regards to Russia, Ukraine, or stocks period. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, Falling Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.